Yes. Good evening, good afternoon, and good morning for those who are watching this broadcast live, and those who may not be watching it live. Operator owner, create more time, clarity, and capacity to grow. This is Mr. Cage, your neighborhood training and development manager, training and development facilitator, potential, teaching kids to think before they do. Let's get this going. It's 5:59. We have some formalities to take care of before we pop out. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. It's an introductory session. Let me make sure I'm able to hear. So, yep, there it is. Got a couple shares to do before we get it going. So be patient with a brother, please. I want to give a shout out to my EU family in Hazel Press. Shout out to my people out there. I'm going to share in our Entrepreneurs United group. Let's see if I can get this. Yeah, I'm gonna put this title up in here. Yep. Put all that in there. Oh, okay. Well, I don't need to. It's already, that title is already there. All right. Excuse me. This link to go ahead and share with the family. We're gonna go tops 7 o'clock. It's gonna be tops. We're gonna expand past 7. Yep. Excuse me, let me do a couple shares. Do a couple of shares with you. Let me get my Entrepreneurs United family the info before we do what we got to do. Letting the people know that I'm on live. As you wait, please share. This conversation is specifically for, and I'm gonna put quotations on this. And this conversation is specifically for business owners or aspiring business owners and small business owners. I don't want to define small business owners too much in relation to number of employees. I'm gonna want to keep it somewhat general. This conversation is applicable for every, so again, quotation marks, business owner. I'm gonna go back and share with you why I said quotation marks in a second. That's that's a clue. That is a clue. Uh, Quotation marks clue. Let's go. Opt in if you choose to. So I'm gonna make sure that with the people, let me know that you own if you own. I definitely appreciate it. You can type in the comment section. I'm on. Start exactly at 6:05. Start exactly at 6:05. Hmm? Again, if you are a business owner, small business owner, an aspiring business owner, this conversation is for you. Owner to operator. Create more time, clarity, and capacity to grow. For you to make the most out of this power hour of conversation, one of the first places that you have to get to is identifying your value system in relation to entrepreneurship. Are you involved in entrepreneurship primarily to make money or for freedom as it relates to independence? And there's various other reasons, I'm sure, why people decide to take the path of entrepreneurship. But whatever your reasoning, whatever your motivation is for taking the path of entrepreneurship, if you're watching this, I want you to jot that down right now. I want you to jot down, why did I choose to start a business? That's the first question of this conversation. Operator to owner, create more time, clarity, and capacity to grow. Question number one, why did you decide to start a business? We call it modus operandi. What is the reason why you chose to start a business? And give you a couple seconds to answer that question. I want you to meditate on that. Really think deeply about it. If you never have thought about it, it's time to rethink some ideologies, some concepts, some reasonings, and some motivation. Because your motivation will determine your direction. Your motivation will and can determine your momentum, your consistency, the clarity, and the ability to endure and persevere through the journey of business. Starting your own business is not for, you have to be able to endure, you have to have thick skin because it's a marathon. It's not a sprint. Owning a business, starting a business, you have to have the ability to endure, and the key word is longevity. So my question to you is, why did you choose to start a business? Because this owner to operator, this power hour conversation, if one of your primary components or criteria that you decided to use as a motivational factor is not to free up your time, this conversation is not for you. Yeah. If you go through the Rolodex of your mind. And you answer the question as I asked, why did you choose to start a business? If your top three, maybe you got three, maybe you got five. If your top 3 or 5 reasons for starting a business, is not time freedom, aka independence, to take control of your time back, this conversation is not for you. This conversation is for people who want to get their time back, whose businesses and the responsibilities of that business may have stolen some of your time. My goal is to help you get your time back. My goal is to help you get your time back. My primary reason, in a natural sense, for starting a business is because I wanted to do what I wanted to do when I wanted to do it. In moderation though. I didn't want to, I'm a person, I don't like, this is a keynote. I don't like to get up in the morning when I have to. I like to get up in the morning when I want to because I have certain disciplines and certain structures already in place internally. I don't necessarily need to report to a supervisor for me to execute and be successful in that execution. But that wasn't something that happened overnight. That was had to go through processes of maturations I still do. Operator owner, create more time, clarity, and capacity to grow. Are you feeling trapped in your daily operations of your business? It's an introductory session. Business system concepts, creative entrepreneurs who want structure, you want clarity, you want freedom in how the business operates. Of course, this is not a full training, but this is ideal for entrepreneurs, service providers, small business owners, and leaders who are ready to stop running their business like a job and start operating their business in a system. Please, please, please consider. Please consider. Please consider. Yep. Please consider. Let's see who we got. All right. I'm taking this poll for station identification. Yeah. Let's roll this out. It's already 6:11, y'all. It's already 6:11. Yeah. Question number two. Question number two. If you're watching live, type two, type number two, the number two in the comment section for me. Question number two. Can someone teach your class? Being an educator, I came into the high school arena primarily as a substitute teacher. And as I advanced in my career pathway, teaching opportunities became available, contractual opportunities became available, whether it was within school districts or in the community abroad. But remain a focus on this prelude. When I came into the classrooms and sub, there were plans there. I repeat, the question is, can someone teach your class? when I came into the high school as a substitute teacher, when a substitute teacher comes into a class, there are what's called sub plans. And the sub plans is the basic blueprint for the day. The sub plans have the plans for each period. It's a basic schedule on how the day goes, what the students should be working on, what's the goal for them to accomplish in terms of assignments for that day, where the assignments are, who are the students to watch, whether those students have exceptional behavior that falls in alignment with classroom norms and expectations, or students whose behavior does not. The sub plans is a basic blueprint that has details that the substitute teacher would never know. And what does the sub plan do for the teacher? It doesn't necessarily guarantee, but it increases the probability that the class is going to be ran in the fashion that the teacher would like for it to be ran. It also allows that teacher to take off to take care of responsibilities. Maybe they need a rest day. Maybe they have a medical appointment or something to that extent. Maybe they have a professional development that they want to attend. It's a plan that can operate without that teacher being in the room. The question is this: do our business have plans? Can your business operate efficiently, less waste, and effectively without you being physically present? That's the question that we have to ask ourselves. I want you to really take a strong assessment and ask yourself, can this happen? If I had to leave on emergency today, would my business still run? Can my business run on autopilot? Can my business run with, if I have a sub in place, or want to put one of my kids in place, or my partner, or one of my colleagues, can I put them in place to run the machine? Do I have a machine? I would tell you this from my professional experience, observation. The answer is no. The answer is no. Type the word machine in the comments section. So that was the second question was, can someone teach your class? My request is that you type the word machine in the comment section. Machine, 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 machine. Right now, what's happening? I'm building a case. That case is already built, really. I'm highlighting the case that's already been built to reveal to us that we don't have systems in place. And shout out to my sister Erin Mitchell, who is specialized in the automation aspect of businesses. Yeah. Machine. I want you to type the word machine. Real fast, y'all. Machine. And I don't have a lot to say after this machine statement. But I'll say this. I love washer and dryers. Because all you have to do is put the clothes in the washer, put whatever detergent, fabric softener that you're going to put in the washer, and press the button. Type this. Rinse and repeat. Rinse and repeat. Once you press that button on the washer, it's going to go into different cycles. 15 minutes, 20 minutes, 25 minutes. Once that cycle is done, your clothes are ready to go into the dryer. And you take the same action with the dryer. Rinse and repeat. Question: do you have a machine where you can press a button and your business can run without you being physically present? One of the reasons why, and this is connected to the new school present, this new school or present pipeline, one of the reasons why this can be difficult for us is because in our culture, no matter what ethnicity or nationality that you are, in our culture, and I'm speaking specifically in the United States of America, we have been taught intentionally and unintentionally, consciously and subconsciously, that work is a verb. When we look at work as a verb, that's something that you do. That means that I'm providing a service that requires my physical presence. When we look at work as a noun, we normally associate work as a noun to a place that we go to do work, a place that we go to provide service. Those are the two connotations and the expressions that accepted as societal norms when you talk about the word work. But work is not only a verb, it's also a noun. A noun is a person, a noun is a place, and a noun is a thing. A thing can be tangible and intangible. What am I saying to you? When we understand that work itself is a noun that is intangible but can produce tangible presence, we can transition from operators to owners. What does work look like in the non-tangible or intangible expression? Processes. Type this word. Type these three words, please. This is gonna help you. Trust me. This is gonna help you. Work can be seen. Now, it's not the I'm not speaking about the physical building that you go to your office to provide work in terms of service. I'm speaking about work in terms of the intangible presence of work that can produce tangible results. Number one, processes. Number two, procedures. Number three, programs. Number four, policies. Processes, procedures, programs, and policies. If I were to go in order, I would say programs. I would say programs. I would probably go policies. I would probably go procedures and processes. These are four expressions of work as a noun that are intangible but can produce tangible results. This is one step that we have to realize to transition from operator to owner. Let me touch this too, real fast. And this is no disrespect to anybody. My intention is not to offend you. My intention is to bring truth today so we can wake up and understand that the expressions that we have been using does not match the expression of that word. Many of us believe that we are business owners, and we are not. We own another job. Yeah. We are self-employed. We are self-employed. Let me do this screen share real fast. We don't own a business. We own another job. Yep. We own another job. We own an additional job. Let me get this to you. I'm trying to Okay, there it is. I'm gonna bring clarity to this statement in a second. I hope you still watch. Let me know if you're there. If you're there. All right, EU, I see you, Miss Alexander and Miss Walker. Appreciate y'all. Also, to my sisters, feel free to put your business on there in the comment section too. Promote and support our business owners. Now, remember, I didn't say that. I didn't make that comment. That comment about us not being business owners to offend. I can't. I brought that statement to bring truth because truth, as the good word says, can set you free. Many of us believe that we are business owners, but the reality is that we own an additional job. The reality is that we are self-employed. You can start off being self-employed, but you don't want to remain there. Now, according to the state, whatever state that you in, that you registered your business in, or the IRS, you own that business from the, I hate to use the word legal, but let's just say from the legal standpoint. But the concept that you own the business, many of us, that's not it. We are self-employed. Referencing Robert Kiyosaki's book, Rich Dad's Cash Flow Quadrant, I totally subscribe to this. One aspect that he shares in the book is that you can operate in all four. You don't necessarily have to remain in one. But for this conversation from operator to owner, I want to highlight that the S, that we are self-employed, small business, you own a job and work for themselves. Why am I saying this? Because if you leave or you stop working in terms of a verb, that income stops. That income stops. You don't want to be there, y'all. Trust me. You don't want to be there. You want to make the pivot from, if you're starting from an S in terms of being self-employed, you want to transition from self-employed to a B where you own a system. So type that real quick. It's an affirmation. I own a system. I own a system. I own a system. As you can see, the example, the image that I have there, his B is his B is for big business. Big business is not, and this is, I don't know what his expression was. I'm redefining it for us in 2025 and where we are right now in this conversation itself. Big business right now doesn't have anything to do with the size of the business. It's just the mentality that we have when we approach doing business. I want you to have a system that works without you being there. Goes back to the question, can somebody teach your class? If you decide to go out for a 1 day vacation or it's an emergency, can somebody run your business without you being there? Do you have the 4 Ps? Do you have the program in place? Process, procedure, policies. Can they follow your instructions, documented instructions from 1 to 10? If not, we got work to do. Let's go on to the next piece. This is the quote. I'm sorry, thought of the day. It's not the level that you play on. It's the game that you playing. It's not the level that you play on. It's the game you're playing. So what occurs is that you have individuals who are business owners through their registration of the state and in connection to the IRS. They will identify us as business owners. But the reality of it is that we don't own a system, we own a job because we're self-employed. And that misinterpretation puts us in a standstill because we begin to work harder as it relates to more hours. And you do have to put more hours in relation to business, but it shouldn't be an indefinite investment of additional hours. It should not be. It should not be. One other point that I want to bring as we transition. Yeah, thank you, Ms. Alexander. I saw you type that. Yeah, process, procedures, programs, and policies. Absolutely. One other piece I want to add too is we have to be diligent. We have to be diligent in working in the business and working on the business. We have to be diligent in working in the business and working on the business. I came across that concept years ago. I forgot who and what I was listening to when I became aware of it, but it made a lot of sense because each day we're working in the business, right? As far as from point A to point B, step 1, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, 10, 10, 11, 12. But are we working on the business? Are we standing back and saying, what worked today? What didn't work today? What software did I use? What platform did I use? When you working in the business and on the business, you working in the business an expression of providing a service that could possibly lead to a product. But when you working on the business, you're able to draw back and look at it from a business owner standpoint or operator, and you're able to assess what took place throughout your process or procedure that worked and didn't work, and you document that. So let me give you, I'm gonna give you this. This is a master key. This is a master key. We just flowing tonight. That's all. Let me give you this master key. This is extremely, extremely important. I hope I have it in my, oh yeah, I do. Here we go. I got it in the slides, y'all. Here we go. Oh man, this conversation, if we knew how important this conversation was, it's very important because your kids and your grandkids cannot inherit a job. They can't. They don't need to. They can just go and get their own. I don't know why my stuff didn't share, but we're gonna go back. Well, let me make this statement before I share. Before I do the screen share, that your kids, you don't want your children to inherit a job. They don't need to because they can go and find one. You want them to inherit a business. When you position yourself from a wealth standpoint and you get ready to transition, not saying that you leaving the earth, you may want to transition and do something else with your life. You want to be able to say, hey, I got the packet for you. Boop. This is how our family business has been ran. And they've been through, the training, obviously, because they shadowed and asked questions. But you can't have them. You cannot, another thought, you cannot hand your children something that has not been documented. You can't hand it to them. You can tell them about it. They can shadow it, but you have to give them something tangible. We all have to. We need to work, or we need to begin working that process now. All right, here we go. We're back. Master key. I don't know why I can't get to what I want to get, y'all. This is just ridiculous. But let's see. We're gonna be patient with this process. I'm gonna try again. All right, it's a master key. If you are if you watch this, I want you, if you're watching this and you own a computer, I want you to take your phone out and I want you to screenshot this. Yeah, I want you to take your phone out and screenshot it. Yeah, yeah. We got two of our EU members, Miss Walker, Queens Healing House, and Miss Alexander, the Beeline Healing Force. Please check them out. Please check them out. And then if once this gets posted in on other platforms, if y'all want to connect with them, just put it in the comment section. We'll connect you. But in this moment, what has happened about maybe 20 minutes left, I want you to either jot this down real fast or screenshot it. One of the two. This is the this is the 1, 2, 3. This is the 5 steps that we can take to transition from operator to owner. 5 steps from doing the work to building a system. Come on. Number 1, do it. Take action. Deliver the service. You want to produce the product, whether it be digital or physical. You build your street cred by proving the value through action. So let's say I got a service. My first step is just to provide the service. Or if I'm providing a digital product or a physical product, provide the product. Provide the product or service. That's step number 1. Step number 2, document the process. Write down the exact steps you follow to provide the service or product. So number 2, you document. And when you documenting, it doesn't have to be perfect. I want my people to get out of perfectionism when you document stuff. Just write it down how it comes out. That's a part of the brainstorming process. You write down your process in your own language. Then we can professionalize that language where it'll eventually equate to a process or procedure. Number 3, you develop it, which is enhancing and improvement. Refine the service or product by using your own insights. Most important, client feedback. And secondly, important, team feedback. Hold up. Number 1, the most important feedback that you're going to receive is client feedback. Why? Because it doesn't involve your thoughts. Our biases is not involved in it. Our feelings is not involved in it. Our thought is not involved in it. The client's feedback is involved in it. But in order for feedback to be the breakfast of champions, you cannot take it personal. You cannot afford to take feedback from a client personal. If you personalize it, you're going to internalize it, and it's going to transform into a wall. Thought of the day number 3. If I internalize, rewind. If I personalize feedback from a client, I'm going to internalize feedback from that client, and it's going to transform into a wall. And the wall is going to project itself as a place of safety, but it's really a place of restriction. Feedback is the breakfast of champions. Moving on. Moving on, good people. Once the client gives me feedback, I'm jotting that feedback down. I'm jotting it down. Whether I'm on the phone with them or, well, if I'm on the phone with them or I'm in person, I'm jotting it down. The master key is you have to ask questions. You got to ask questions because there's part of your process and product that you don't know. that they do. Know meaning an experience. They have a whole different experience than you may assume that they have. And with that experience, if you ask the right questions or be willing to ask questions and have the maturity to receive the feedback, you can improve that process. Number four, do it again. So once you get the feedback, you take that feedback in and you make the change. And once you make the change, you repeat the process in educational circles, and I believe in business circles as well. We call them iterations. Okay, we did that. We got the feedback. Let's try it again. You offer the service and produce the product again, this time using what you learned to improve the outcome. Then number five, you duplicate it, package the product or service. You turn the process into something that can be sold, taught, presented, or delivered again, making it visually appealing, easy to understand, and ready for clients through the feedback that you have received. Once you get to number four, you may have to go to number three because anytime you're going through a process and you gaining feedback, that process should improve based on the feedback that you gather. All right, let me stop for a second. Let me see if you got any questions or feedback. The time to share them is now. Okay. I'll make sure y'all share this too. This is we almost done. I wanted to. I didn't want to give too much today. I'm gonna give you this real quick. Okay, we can start from the beginning. I love teaching, as you can see, because I don't necessarily have to go in order. Because when you reach a certain depth of mastery with material, you don't necessarily got to go in order. But I'm gonna go in. I think I want to go here with us. Yeah, this is important that I share this with you. Yeah, this is important that I share this with y'all. Let's see what my people is at. Shout out to EU for supporting this journey. Thank you, Ms. Walker. Yeah. All right, let's go. Hold on, me. Yeah, I gotta do a reshare and we finish out. From the current slide, I was in association with an organization years ago, probably around the COVID time. And one of the key accomplishments that, of course, I would dare not try to take all the credit, right? It was a team aspect, but the idea itself was some intellectual property that I was holding on to. I shared intellectual property with my partner company because I didn't have the infrastructure in my organization to implement it in a efficient, less weight, and effective, right outcome way. We built and managed a mission-aligned recruitment pipeline that attracted 400 plus applicants. I kid you not. Onboarded 30 program partners, expanded organizational capacity, and supported program growth projected at that time to generate 43,000 in gross revenue. So that's 400 applicants, 30 partners onboarded, and a projection of 43,000 in gross revenue. How did this take place? I want you to do me a great favor and type the word IP. IP. Letter I, letter P. Letter I, letter P. And I've done videos about this long time ago, but I'm gonna revisit some crucial thoughts associated with this so that we can really understand the importance of intellectual property. This out. I'm gonna make this statement. I'm gonna make this statement real quick. If you have a traditional 9 to 5, your employer may or may not know the importance of intellectual property. So the intellectual property that is associated with your ideas and execution of those ideas and the documentation of the execution is most valuable to them. It's not as valuable to us because we haven't realized how important it is. So intellectual property is the protected value of your creativity, ideas, inventions, writings, designs, brands, and original works that come from your mind, perception, imagination, and can become assets that you legally own. Patents, copies, trademarks, designs, manuscripts, inventions, creative works. Your ideas can become assets. Protect what you create. See, we don't protect what we quote unquote create because it's just normal for us. We're creatives. We share our intellectual property with entities, and they don't pay you what your intellectual property is worth. They pay you what the service that you provide is worth. They don't pay you for your intellectual property. They pay you for the service. And the service itself, drum roll, the service is a documented service that was already in place before you got there. You've improved that service because you on the front line providing the service Monday through Friday. Why aren't you doing that for your own business? Why aren't you thinking about doing that just so you can start your own business? So intellectual property has more value than money. Intellectual property has more value than money. Intellectual property has more value than money, meaning it is more important than money. See, intellectual property, let me go back. When I used to teach every day, I used to go through this, this icebreaker exercise. And in the icebreaker exercise, I would ask the kids, what's more important, money or time? Hands down, those kids said money. And I looked at them, and you know what I said to our kids? I see your perspective, but you're wrong because it takes time to make money. And it takes ideas, your intellectual property, to generate value or to produce value to produce value. Value is what's important, not to you, but to the people that you serve. And when they see that value, they're willing to pay for it. Knowing a person's value system is knowing your client's value system and knowing other people's value system is very important. That comes through listening. It doesn't come through talking. Intellectual property has more value than money because intellectual property comes from our creativity, our ability to, number one, identify problems and bring forth solutions in the time that you have been given, not the time that's been relegated to you being there 9 to 5. See, the school prison pipeline has taught us, again, subconsciously and consciously, that it was mandated that you be at a physical location for 6, 7, and 8 hours because it connects your work, service, verb to your time. Therefore, you can never get time free when you operate in that dimension, in that paradigm, or in that quadrant. There is no freedom there. But your God-given ideas, innovation, ability, and your intellectual property gives you the opportunity to disconnect your work from your time if your work does not remain in form of service. Your service should always transform into a product. Please type that. The service that I provide should always transform into a product, whether that product be tangible, intangible, whether that product be digital or physical, has physical presence. And when it does, the digital product or the physical tangible product should not have to warrant my presence to be able to be exchanged. Ideas create assets and creativity creates value. Oh man, we got 10 minutos. I'm checking again. Hopefully my EU is still with me. All right. Let's close this out. Yeah, I'm gonna close this out with this. I'm gonna give okay. Yep. I got three little slides to talk about. It's gonna be bills. Type the word bills. Wealth and bills. This was a true story that I'm gonna get ready to share. Long ago, I guess I can tell you. Long ago, and then I need to share this visual with you because it's powerful. Long ago, I was at a managing your debt seminar. It was being done at a bank. We'll talk about that on another day. I met a young man who had been injured at work, physical place, service. He shared that he was making good money before the injury, but once he was no longer able to work, the family's income and credit were dramatically affected. He's making good money, coming to, I think it was like something connected to construction, and he got hurt, and the money dried up, and the credit was damaged. Bills still come even when your income stops. And there are various ways that you can protect yourself when that does happen. But what I'm saying in this context, from transforming from an operator to an owner, is that we have to think ahead. We have to build options. We have to think again outside of that box that has been made for us to fit inside of. If you have your systems in place and you don't own a job because you're self-employed as a quote unquote business owner, you own a system that can operate without you being physically present, then if something happens, Lord forbid, but this is life, that income will still be flowing because it doesn't warrant that you have to physically be there. Let me give you, this is from Joshua Selman, powerful brother. But I want you to see this visual as we finish this power hour out. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Wealth. Wealth. It can be defined many ways. I like this. I like this expression, this definition. I'm checking. I'm letting it pop up before we. Yeah. Okay. Yes, Miss Walker. The service that I provide should always transform or always transition to a product. See, she has healthcare, products. I love her ginger drink. She has a product, tangible. IP, intellectual property. Here we go. Wealth can be defined as abundant resources plus the systems that have been put in place to guarantee multiplication and to guarantee sustainability. Wealth, according to Joshua Selman, can be defined as abundant resources plus the systems that have been put in place to guarantee multiplication and to guarantee sustainability. Do you know what multiplication means in context of business? I'm going to share this definition with us. I'm going to share this definition with us real fast. Multiplication you can look it up too. Multiplication in context. But you always got to look for words in the context of business. Check it out. Multiplication in business signifies exponential growth, leveraging systems, and rapid expansion after slow linear gains. It involves scaling operations through franchising, licensing, high leverage marketing, like transforming one customer into 10 through referrals to dramatically increase revenue, profits, and market reach. What does multiplication mean to me? Systems that you can leverage, platforms that you can leverage. For example, what you will see with this power hour is you're going to see a video on Facebook eventually, right? The platform of Facebook is the leverage system itself, where we have various clips and we put those reels out, and that's the system of multiplication. So this me being deep. One cannot multiply his or her efforts in his or her business for exponential growth and scalability and abundant revenue unless they have a system in place. System not only platforms to use, but programs, policies, procedures, processes, intangibles. Last one, y'all. Let's get out of here. I want you to enjoy the remainder of your evening. I want you to enjoy your weekend. But the question that I will leave us with is this question. This is the 30-day question. And I have asked this already, I believe. My sharing ability is it's not looking good right now. Share from the current slide. It's not working for me. And y'all check it out. Don't just watch this. Get involved. The 30-day question. If you had to step away from your business for 30 days, 30 a month, would it still operate smoothly without you? The answer is no. The breakdown reveals the first system you need to build. Woo! From operator owner. The first system itself, I can't say that it's lead generation because we don't necessarily know how everybody business specifically flows. But we need to connect and see what the breakdown is. So how do you connect with us to start this journey? Let's see. This is how you connect with us to start this journey. Stop running your business from memory. Everything's in my head. Build the systems that create freedom structure, and growth. Text owner to 773-599-1133 to book your discovery call. The discovery call is not free. It is not free. You will walk away with results, outcomes, where you can determine where to start, or you can determine whether you like to work with us further. But it takes time to meet with people, ask the questions, and normally what we do is we'll produce a report for you, of whatever was talked about in the session and action steps to move forward. Trust me, if we continue to run our businesses, if we continue to run our businesses from memory, we will never be free. We will never be free. We'll be stuck in the quadrant, the dimension, the expression of self-employment, and we will not transition into big business. Big business in context is associated with systems. It's associated with the 4 Ps. Ms. Alexander typed it out. Programs, policies, procedures, and processes. We got to identify those processes. And as I close out, if you go back and remember when I spoke with you about, and I shared with you about my association with organization, that we were able to scale up with projected sales revenue of 43,000 gross. That started off with one person. I had the intellectual property. I shared it with one of my partners. I did the heavy lifting. It was a lot of typing, a lot of manual stuff that had to be done. Then my partner and I tag team, and we went through that process together of interviewing applicants. And we went through at least 6 iterations. We went through at least 6 seasons where we put the IP in place, put the process, the system in place, come back, assess it. Let's go again. Come back, assess it. Let's go again. Come back, assess it. And it equated to us having a team of 6 individuals involved in facilitating the process. I benefited because it was primarily that it came through me. So I was able to create a system. Excuse me, and of course, my partner organization had to improve it. But I was being paid a percentage because I was the quote unquote creator of the system because I had the intellectual property. In addition, I was still able to get involved in the process and provide the service because I knew the process in and out. So I was able to get paid twice from the service that I decided to provide within the system and those who I had taught and trained to work the system that was on our team. I leave you with this last thought, real talk. And I shared this thought last week when we did the pipeline patterns part 3. This economy is different. You cannot work the same in this economy and expect your revenue to increase. That is absurd to think that. Your work has to look different. Your work has to transform from a verb into a noun in order for you to be able to generate additional income. You got to look at work in a different light, not the light that's we've been programmed and conditioned to believe and see, but the renewal and the redefinition that I'm sharing with you to position you for freedom, liberation, wealth, abundance, advancement, representation, and most importantly, in my heart, generational wealth for our kids and our kids' kids and even their kids. Make sure that if you want to connect, that you text owner to get involved in this operator to owner program, text 773-599-1133. We will work with you and get you on a pathway to where we can identify, we can help you with the operational maps, the SOPs, which is standard operating procedures, workflow charts, checklists, templates, role clarity, and an implementation plan so that you can have a system that can provide service, provide the product to your clients, generate revenue without you being present and give you your time back. I am Mr. Cage, your training and development specialist for potential teachers to think before they do. As always, I'll leave you with this. Be great at what you do, but be greater at who you are.